The one thing that we heard during the research that we did for the Focus Electric is this idea of range anxiety. And that really comes down to helping the driver understand whether they're consuming more energy than they can afford. And by afford, we mean they have enough energy to do all the errands that they have to do, from going from home to work to school, back home, back to their primary charge point before they run out of charge. And so we wanted to visualize in the cluster, in the instrument cluster, this idea of what they're consuming and how much they can afford so that they can see that and better manage the resources on board. So to help us answer the question about the right HMI for the driver, we developed a number of concepts that'll be in the cluster, and we loaded them into the simulator, along with a road scene or a driving environment that goes through a few different contexts. And then we had people drive the simulator through those contexts in a low charge condition and in a higher charge condition. And we tested out whether their reactions to our information was appropriate, was expected, and if it met their expectations of what they thought they would need in a battery electric vehicle. So let's give this a go. Let's take a little drive here first on this low budget condition, which means we've got high needs, we've got to go 11 miles, and right now low capacity, 20 miles of range on the battery. And you can see here just getting the vehicle up and moving takes quite a bit of energy, and we've got that white line pretty high up on our consumption gauge, and it's way above our budget, which is okay if it's for short periods of time. We just want to make sure that our more sustained driving is within that budget. We've got this thing called the brake coach here, and as we pull up to the stop, the coach appears in the cluster and tells me that of all the energy available for me to recapture, in that particular braking event, I captured all of it. And so we noticed in our studies in here that when people didn't get the 100, when they had 50, 70, that they were motivated by this, and they said, oh, well, I got to figure out how to get 100. And eventually they understood that, well, to get 100 you really need to brake gradually and and take it to a gradual stop where most of that energy is picked up by the generator rather than by being lost to heat by the brakes themselves. When the charge gets low, and in our vehicle it's at 10 miles of range left in the battery, you'll get a yellow warning, similar to what you'd see in a gasoline-powered car that says low fuel. Right now, I don't know if you can see, but I have a surplus. I've got more miles of capacity than I have needs, the distance to my charge point. There's 15 miles of range in the battery. Our distance to our charge point, which we preloaded, is 9.3 miles left. And so right now I've got 9.3 miles of need, 15 miles of capacity, which means I have a surplus of 5.8 miles. By showing you that budget and by showing you what you're consuming, we're going to let you know, we're going to keep you informed of how you need to drive to make sure you get to your destination. We're not going to surprise you with the range dropping and not giving you a chance to react to that. We're going to kind of hold your hand the whole way. And that budget is dynamic. It changes with, we're continuously looking at the number of miles left and the number of miles on board, and we're adjusting that moment to moment to make sure that you're completely informed of what you have to do to get to your destination. That's the most important thing.